I'm sure I would come back in thinking I had just like acted like a badass, covered in this styrofoam jizz,
drinking Gatorade like
Here's
Napoleon
Heidi
Dynamite, just coming
looking at me, just being like, I thought he was cool, but now I know better.
I know you'll know where we were when. I know you'll know where we were when.
Hello and welcome to Where We Were When, a podcast where we look back at the most memorable movie-going experiences of our youth and eat candy. I'm your host, Heidi Gardner, and I'm joined as always by my brother, Justin Gardner. Hi, Justin.
Hey, Heidi. How you doing? Back from the hiatus.
I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, it's been like a month. We took a little break.
We took a little break. We grew as people. We grew as hosts.
Okay.
Well, I grew as a host. I
didn't do any well, you are the host. I'm just here to like help out, like I feel like I am here to assist you in your journey, your hosting journey, and I hope that I can continue to just add to your hosting knowledge.
Well, I hope that in the hiatus that you either took some assistant classes or courses or support courses. Okay.
I did.
Then
I did. I took a couple Zoom classes on assisting YouTube and podcasting shows.
okay, great.
But I failed both of them. So we'll see.
Well, I don't think it matters that much that you failed because our guest tonight actually has his own podcast, so he can kind of support me as we support him.
There you go.
Our guest tonight is also a KC native, like Justin and I. Like I said, he's also a podcast host that he co-hosts with his mom. It's called Mad Mama Half Happy Hour. And he also has a folk duo band with that same mama, Mama Bear. I've gotten to meet her because I was lucky enough to be on the Mad Mama Half Happy Hour. Our guest today is Madisen Ward. Hi, Madison.
Hello. Thanks for having me. What's going on, Heidi and Justin? I've been working on that for a while.
That was good.
Yeah. Did I do it?
Man, you nailed that to the wall.
Thank God. Because the ink
I feel so hellowed.
The ink on my hand was running off, so I wasn't sure if I was going to get the whole intro out.
You had to have a cheat sheet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a little cheat sheet for that. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
It's what I learned.
I would. That was, it was a lot.
I learned that in high school.
Sometimes sometimes just talking into a mic, I'm finding even on this podcast, like makes things so much more like high stakes or pressure filled that like I was like, I'm going to botch Madison's intro. I just know it. Like I practiced it. I said Mad Mama Half Happy Hour a lot before I came on, but something about the mic makes it feel like, oh, I am standing in front of like 150 people or something. And
it's go time. It's go time.
Very weird. Yeah.
It's go time.
It's like a volleyball you have to keep in the air basically, and you can't let the volleyball drop. And, that's how I usually think about podcasting. It's like, you just can't let that volleyball drop, basically. But
you just got to keep batting it around.
It's the old balloon game. I used to do that with a little balloon. Don't let the balloon touch the floor.
Was that a game? I remember that. It was called the balloon game.
It was a game that we played often.
Was it called
game?
Balloon game?
It was seconds of fun. It was seconds of fun.
It might have been called Those Who Can't Play Volleyball Play Balloon
The
game.
Balloon game.
Those who don't volley balloon. Yeah, so if the balloon, do you just play until it runs out and it weakens, or does it have to pop?
Yeah, I think that...
Well, if the balloon touches the ground, which is basically lava,
somebody dies.
Oh, no. That's you two made it.
High stakes games. High stakes games. Oh, yeah. A lot of people didn't, but we're here. And
you lost a lot of friends.
I mean, It's a testament. Well, we eliminated a lot of friends is what
Yeah.
basically what
Technically,
happened.
they were
I mean,
enemies.
we're yeah, frenemies, I mean, we
Competitors. They
really
were competition.
yeah, it was like the game of life, and I would say that we won,
Well,
Yeah.
it seems
basically,
like a
so
lighthearted game, and I'm glad you guys grew up with that because it clearly has brought you
Oh,
two
yeah.
together to make this wonderful podcast. Though I think that's amazing.
Well, thank
Definite
you.
yeah.
Thank you for that
Definitely
support.
yeah, definitely made us, ready for this journey, this podcasting journey. But you 2 have considerable, experience in front of crowds. Madison, you are like a very accomplished musician and you've got this folk duo with your mother. I mean, like it's I'm
Oh, you'll lose your mind when the family tries to shine. A baby's gotta get in line.
just so excited to have you on the show because I've seen you at Middle of the Map. I've seen you on
Wow.
TV. I mean, what are you up to right now with the music?
I'm writing all the time. We're possibly going to be recording something here soon, but everything is sort of up in the air with the crazy years and everything. So right now
Sure.
I'm writing music for a film. I'm trying to do things that are odd and outside of the wheelhouse of what we've been doing up until now. So like there's a random film they wanted me to write a song for, so I'm going to do it. I guess I'm going to go be in the film as well, and it's some weird
Oh, that's
Okay.
awesome.
yeah, which is bizarre. And 10 years ago, 5 years ago, last week, I never would have thought that I would ever do something like that. But yeah, I feel like this past year or so has sort of made everything up in the air, and there's almost no rule or standard for what you do. And yeah, I'll play music on somebody's porch. I don't care who it is. I don't care where it is. The B&D roller rink. I don't care, but I'll play for anyone now. It just doesn't matter. I would do it back then too, but you know what I mean.
Have you ever played Porch Fest? I don't know. Like I don't in Kansas City we've got this really cool thing, and I think it actually happens elsewhere. But it's where musicians set up on people's porches in neighborhoods around the city.
I haven't.
Have you ever played that?
I think Catherine Golden runs Porch Fest. I think she's hit me up about that one year, and that
Hmm.
was the only year. I mean, I couldn't do it the year she hit me up, but who knows? Maybe this year,
It's a
or
lot of fun.
when does it happen? Is it
It's a great vibe.
September or?
Oh, I feel like that there's 2 now. I think there's 2, like, Porch Fests that I don't know that if they compete, but I think that they're at different points of the year, but September sounds right.
Okay,
So,
let's hope they
we're
don't
recording
compete.
in September. Yeah, I don't think that they really well, I mean, even if they do, it but
I want to see that.
yeah, it's yeah, that's right. Well, they played the balloon game
Yes,
and,
exactly.
we'll see what happens.
A lot of
One
people
Porch
died.
Fest will
A lot
yeah,
of people
a lot
died.
of people.
Yes, it's not good.
And it was Mama's, birthday recently.
Yes,
We're
just
recording this around, like, September 14th, 15th, and it was Mama's birthday, like, a couple days ago, yeah?
just yesterday was her birthday. She
Oh,
turned
that's
Oh,
she
awesome.
turned the big number I won't mention. But
Okay.
I don't know.
okay.
Maybe she doesn't care. I don't know. But that's her
That's fine. We
business.
can leave it out of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
Our
believe-
mom continually says she's still 30, or not that she is 37, but she feels 37. So
Oh, there you go.
we get it. Our
That's
mom
perfect.
And
doesn't.
honeys,
Yeah.
I'm happy and healthy. Happy and
Yeah.
healthy.
37, does that feel good? I don't know. I feel like that's I feel like I'm not 37 yet and I already feel not great often. Is that
Well
is
well
that
well, damn, Madison.
just saying. It's like, I mean, the past
37 felt pretty good for me.
I think that our mom must have had a good year at 37 because it is always for me just kind of like a shockingly random number. Like, I don't know if I'm doing that same bit at her age. I mean, I would probably be like, I feel 21, or I mean, like that seems like the obvious.
right,
And just
right.
37 is a very specific, random, odd number. So I feel like something happened that year. was good.
Oh, something happened. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's just.
I bet. Listen, we had a childhood
She got divorced.
that was
oh boy.
no.
I feel 37
I wasn't
again.
divorced. I don't think it was divorced. You weren't 7,
No, it was
right?
after the divorce. Yeah.
Oh,
It was after the divorce. So we had gone from having 2 parents to having separate households. Well, we still have 2 parents, and and then that's when she was feeling it. We were kind of talking about
Yeah.
that in some other episodes where we would go see movies at the Tivoli that kind of opened up our sort of like our movie world, really. Because she was really into like the foreign stuff, Jim Jarmusch, Swimming to Cambodia with Spalding Gray, right? So it was 37 I bet was a banger of a year for Ernestine Eileen.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is awesome. I love it.
I like that you brought up the Tivoli, Justin, because our candy today is very anti-Tivoli because a few
It's in Tivoli.
Well, okay, so
yes.
This is my thing, Madison.
I know where she's going with this. I know where she's going with this.
So like 9 shows ago or something, the candy was Mamba. Do you know what Mamba is?
I've had a Mamba.
Okay. So the first time I had a Mamba was at the Tivoli concession stand, and I had never seen Mambas before. I mean, I think I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I was like, what is this? And it was kind of like a Starburst, but just like Tivoli's an indie movie theater, I was like, this is an indie Starburst, is what I thought Mamba was. But today, I'm going broad. I'm going sell out candy. Today's candy is Starburst.
Ooh.
Starburst.
Let me see the packs that you guys have real quick.
I'm gonna put Heidi on blast here.
Heidi's.
Yeah, do it.
So Heidi did not send us Starburst this time. She's been very vigilant. So Madison had to go out and get his own Starburst. I could only find this fucking thing. Like
is it
the
all
sharing
pinks?
size. It's not all pinks. It's fave reds.
Fave
reds.
Okay,
Yeah.
now look at mine, because we all have 3 different things here. See,
I love that.
See this bad boy? It's the same as Heidi's, but it's the share size. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh my God,
the
you
share
got
size.
king size Starburst. I've never seen that.
I've never seen it either. I didn't know what it was when I saw it.
This is really good representation of Starburst tonight, and I hope I get a deal or one of us gets sponsored by Starburst because we've shown all the
You're gonna
flavors,
get
basically.
I'm working on it. I'm talking
Starburst review.
I'm talking with Butterfingers right now in our DMs. So just by the way, yeah.
I mean, okay.
You got to be careful talking with Butterfingers because that's a slippery slope. Is that
yes.
They're great, but right now it's Starburst.
It's all
right now we're talking
Starburst.
Starburst.
Yes.
Now, Madison, when I informed you and begged you to go buy Starburst,
yes.
which I apologize for, immediately comes to mind when you hear Starburst? Are you excited to eat them? Are you like, that's an okay one? What's your Starburst take?
My first thought is it's a lot of work. I have to, I've got to use my thumbs, and I have to, I don't want to do all this. I don't want to unwrap a gift. I just want to eat the candy. And I know,
wow, yes.
That's usually what I'm thinking is that, okay, there's going to be a lot of mess and I have to, but it is a really good flavor. I will say that though. But my first thought is it's like a little Christmas gift and I have to open it. And
God help you if you've just cut your nails and have to open it. Because
you're effed.
And I've done that.
It's like tightly
and it's
wrapped.
Like, although it does remind me of opening up.
No, you can go into it whenever.
Pound it. It also reminds me of opening up a pack of baseball cards. It's got that same like waxy feel as baseball cards. And it kind of has that same like waxy.
Waxy's not the best.
Fruit punch. I've never actually had fruit punch.
Waxy's not like
Justin,
a top tier adjective for what you're gonna throw in your mouth.
No.
Justin, I know that
you'll learn throughout the course of this new podcast. I'm horrible at this. So,
it's very waxy.
This is not working out for me right now.
It tastes kind of like a hot glue gun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only one without marble mouth right now because I haven't indulged.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like a dog with peanut butter. It's nuts.
Well, Justin, I know that you're on a different flavor trip than me and Madison right now because you've got the favorite reds. But traditionally, it's orange, yellow, red, and pink Starburst. So it's like strawberry, cherry, lemon, and orange.
Pink.
There you go.
Pink.
Okay,
you want to do pink?
Well, I just want to know what your guys' rankings are, like, just off of top of mind. What's, like, your ranking of the 4 Starbursts? How would you rate them from best to baddest?
Best to baddest? it's a new comedy album I'm working on. Best to baddest. Best to baddest. Who wants to go first?
You're the guest, Madison.
Okay.
You do it.
So I'm going to say, I just had a red, by the way, and that was a fun time. And I'll say, I don't know because red and pink, I kind of put them both at the exact same level. I love either one. Like either one's great.
Okay.
And those two are incredible. Orange and yellow can go take a hike. I don't care. It's honestly,
really, yeah.
I hate orange and yellow is together as much as I love red and pink together.
Man.
That's really what I'll say.
Doesn't yellow taste like shoe polish? I swear to God,
shoe polish.
Like it has such a like it really does taste like I can't remember. See, this is what I just predicted, Madison. Like I can't.
Another adjective.
You're say wax mind. Again.
Wax, shoe polish.
No, it's not. But
he always comes back to wax.
No, like all I can think of is Pine Sol, but I know it's not that. Lysol. I got it. I got there.
And that's the yellow?
Lysol. It tastes like Lysol. Yeah.
I'm going to try the yellow right now.
When did you taste Lysol? Maybe it smells like Lysol?
He's totally right.
I will.
He's right.
It does smell bad.
Not only that, I will contend that everybody has tasted Lysol because when you spray that fucking shit in your house, you always taste it. Like it gets in your mouth.
Yeah.
Lysol gets in your mouth. So
it does.
Doesn't the lemon taste like Lysol?
It tastes like linoleum, Pine Sol covered linoleum. It just something's happening. And I don't know if I love it.
I'm gonna be a yellow apologist here. I do like yellow, but what is shocking to me right now is that I've never just smelled them and they smell exactly like crayons. So
really?
Yes, I'll agree with the wax with you, Justin.
The wax? Okay.
They smell
We're coming back around.
But this is wax paper, right? This is like a wax paper, I think, right?
Okay, that's true too.
Maybe we should, I think we should.
Cherry.
I think we should talk to the manufacturer.
The cherry is overwhelming. That is a cherry taste.
It's an intense one.
That's quite a cherry.
I've done fruit punch. I've done strawberry, which is the pink. I've done cherry. Now I've got watermelon.
Wait, you have watermelon? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because I got just reds.
Got favorite.
I got just reds.
I love watermelon. You know, it's not a racial joke, but I love watermelon, baby. I'll take. Is that good for your podcast?
You can love watermelon.
Well, this is.
You can like blueberries. You can love any melon. Doesn't matter.
I'm a melon head.
I love. Cantaloupe.
I'm only a one melon head. I'm only a cantaloupe girl. Obviously no one likes honeydew.
Right.
But what makes me
No. I like honeydew.
You do.
I'm a monster. But Bampo would bring home some killer honeydew. Oh. And I don't think you liked it. Wow. I love it.
No, I thought I was a monster because I don't like watermelon. And
right.
The world loves. No, I do not like that texture.
She only likes the rind.
Well, okay, so I think you might have gotten some like bad watermelon because watermelon can be mealy. It can be mealy. It can be mealy, and it can
some
suck.
bad watermelon.
Watermelon, Madison.
Your whole life it's been bad watermelon. Yeah.
Back me up here.
Yeah.
When it's cold and when it's crisp. Fuck, that is like the best thing on a summer day. I mean, it's just insane.
You have to get really fresh water. I mean, it's kind of the same with strawberries too. You know, if you get really strawberries from a farm, I mean, it's like you're eating Skittles. It's incredible.
Oh,
It's the best.
amazing.
It's the best fruit ever. And I think watermelon's the same way. It's got to really be in season.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
You
it
can't-
is. It's like you're eating like, if it's not doing a huge flavor thing, it's like you're eating some sort of like wax. You know,
like wax.
Yeah, like a waxy,
Everything bad or rotten tastes like wax.
fruity.
yes.
Like, and especially when it dries up, because I will say, I'm just saying, Heidi, just give watermelon one more chance.
Yes.
One more chance.
I did give
One
it a
more
chance last week, and I still don't like it, but I'm going to give it one more.
Okay, well,
I will.
I have a hot
one
take.
more.
hot
That's all
take
we're
for you.
asking.
I actually like
Yes.
honeydew over cantaloupe.
Oh
my
yeah.
God.
You know why?
I hate cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe has cantaloupe has like a kind of a stinky smell. It can be kind of stinky.
If candy corn was a fruit, it would be cantaloupe.
There you go. I love that.
And
Yeah.
That's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt.
Yeah, I have it.
Candy corn were fruit. It'd be cantaloupe. Yeah.
I've come around on candy corn over the years. I'd never buy it, but if it's in a
my
bowl, I'll eat it.
What bowl are you finding candy corn in? If it's in a bowl, I'm there, baby. Where are you at? Where they're
various
welcome to my
bowls
house.
around 30
Have
Rock.
you seen my candy corn?
That's all they have at 30 Rock is just candy corn. Like
Really?
they're very old school. Yeah, they don't have any other candy besides candy corn.
That's what 30 Rock is
coming up
named
on
after.
October.
Is
Yeah.
named the 30 Rocks of candy corn.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my! You must do your
You got it.
history on 30 Rock. You're the first person to ever say it.
Yeah, but that's right. That's right. That's a true fact.
I want Justin to
Speaking-
keep on describing 30 Rock. Sorry. What else is there?
Damn it! I almost had a good transition. I'm still gonna go with it.
Transit it. Come back with
Transit it. Speaking of Madison's history,
Mm.
we got to get into our first Where We Were When movie pick. That's what we do here. We talk about the movies we saw.
Wait, this
what
is a
they
movie
meant.
podcast? I thought that this was a candy podcast.
That was a cantaloupe
You know what?
podcast.
Well, tonight it's candy, melon, and movies.
Perfect.
And we've
I
done
love
the
it.
first two. We've got to
I
get to
love
the
it.
movies.
Yeah, we got to get to the movies. You're right.
What's a movie?
so
I have no idea
Madison-
what we're talking. What
Oh,
film?
no.
Talking about the old talkies?
No.
This is going to be bad for you.
That thing you're going to be in, that you're writing a song for and that you're going to be in, that is a
It's
movie.
one of those.
I just agreed.
That's a movie.
I just agreed. I had
That's a
no
movie
idea.
film.
That's what that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
That's
so
a
what
movie film.
is that like with the picture moves?
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
well, you don't go you go to you drive to a big place
Drive.
and then you buy a ticket. And then maybe
and
you
it's
buy
gotta
treats
be
like
a big
candy.
place.
It's got to be a big place because it doesn't
Mm.
count if it's not a big place. And then you walk into a smaller place within the big place, and there's a big screen, and then you just watch something that is a movie film.
I think I see
Yeah.
what you're
That's how that
saying
works.
now. I think I'm starting to pick
Yeah.
up on what you're talking about.
I got you.
Okay.
yeah.
So it's like a movie.
So
okay.
It's,
Sorry.
it's like
That's
a
right.
movie.
All right.
That's right.
All right. I
And
got
so
you.
all I'm looking for, Madison, all I want
Let's bring it.
is a movie
Bring it home.
that you remember seeing and you've got a lot of memories around it.
Okay.
And I just want, we're going to ask you for a couple. I want your first one, man.
First film
Yeah.
that I'm going to bring up is Men in Black. Men in Black.
Ooh.
Come on.
Biggie.
What do y'all think about?
Biggie.
What do y'all think about that?
It's a big one. I
That
think
was
it's the biggest one we've talked about so far.
It might be our biggest blockbuster that we've like really sat with for a minute.
Oh, is this
Yeah,
more like an
I think
indie
so,
film?
too.
Is it more like an indie film?
No, it's
No,
everything. It's an everything,
everything.
film. Seriously.
But
'Cause I was
just
gonna
like
say
Men in
Labyrinth.
Black. Another biggie though. That was big.
Was it big? Yeah, I guess you're right.
But Men in Black just like from the preview to like when it came out to just the
Oh.
Will Smith factor and then the song.
Mhm.
I mean, that movie had a lot of heat in all aspects,
Yeah.
right?
So much heat. It was an incredible film. You mentioned the song. I remember. I think I bought the soundtrack to that movie right after seeing the movie. So like we watched the
Absolutely.
movie and like went to like Walmart and bought the soundtrack. It was incredible. Oh my
That
goodness.
is one of the best, like, where we were when things for me is when I remember doing that with Terminator 2, immediately buying the soundtrack, and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, immediately buying the soundtrack.
Romeo and Juliet, though, right?
Yes. That was
Yeah.
another one.
My
Yeah,
sister,
that's one that we actually did cover.
my sister, I think, had the soundtrack to Romeo and Juliet, and she played it for me. I was like, watch this, and I didn't know what they were talking about. I said, I don't understand this. This is in Italian, apparently, and I don't speak Italian. She's like, no, it's like old English. I said, what's wrong with this English? But I didn't understand what they were talking about. But it's a good movie. But Men in Black the aliens talking made more sense to me. I connected.
Get that.
Mm-hmm.
How old were you when Men in Black came out?
See, what year was that? Was that 97?
97.
Yeah.
I would have been really slow with math. I would have been 9 years old.
Ooh, good age.
Wow.
I was I was a hard 9. Yes.
A hard 9.
Yeah. Is that?
And what would Mama Bear have said about you as a 9-year-old? Were you like a sweet boy,
No.
bad boy?
I wasn't
a bad boy.
I was a bad 9-year-old. Let me tell you. Oh man, I had a leather jacket. No, I was a pretty good kid, I think. I mean, I wasn't a bad boy, but I was just like what does rambunctious mean? Doesn't that mean like a kid who gets into stuff? You just constantly,
yes.
Like, I think so. Maybe, I'm not sure. Justin,
you're an active kid. You're an active kid.
Yes.
You were a rad boy.
I was a rad
boy.
Oh, I like that. That reminds me of one of our local bands here, Rad Key is what that reminds me of.
Oh,
go look them
so
up,
good.
y'all.
Rad Key's amazing. Yeah.
Great band. But yeah, I think I was very distracted, much like I am here on this podcast. And I would get distracted a lot, and I was always running my mouth and sort of getting in trouble at school. And I was just I was a very creative kid, and I liked to just, I was interested in anything that I could apply some sort of creativity to. But if I couldn't do that, I was not probably the best student. I wasn't very focused, but I got into trouble a lot, but not like any sort of nothing crazy. It was Midwestern trouble. It was a PG trouble. Yeah,
Midwestern trouble.
That's good.
That's
They're
going to
be debuting in Nashville Nights. Midwestern trouble.
Yeah, it's Urban Cowboy and Midwestern Trouble double feature at the Twin Drive-In.
That's right.
It's funny because when I really think of all the regions in the United States of America, Midwestern Trouble I think is the weakest. Like, I mean, Southern Trouble, that's bad.
Yes.
Eastern Trouble, that is rough. Western Trouble, that sounds, like trouble.
Oh yeah.
But Midwestern Trouble
Midwestern Trouble is when two people are competing for parking spaces and the person who got there first doesn't get it. That's Midwestern Trouble.
It sounds like somebody got out of their car.
You shake your fist, you shake your fist. And like inside, somebody's just mouthing something that they don't get out of their car. That's Midwestern Trouble.
And they get out of the car and they say, "Hey man, are you from around here?" He's like, "No, I'm from East." He's like, "Well, look like you just found some Midwestern trouble, boy." That's what you say to them. I'm
gonna find another parking spot. But
exactly.
Next time, don't do that.
Or you're going to get some Midwestern trouble.
Yeah, that's right. No, that is the Midwestern trouble.
Oh, that's it?
It's a slight inconvenience. Yeah, it's just a talking to.
It's just a small scuffle.
Yeah, no, it's a slight verbal altercation. That's about it.
That's not good.
Sir, I really wish you wouldn't do that. Well, I'm going to do it. Okay, well, okay. But, I wish you wouldn't.
And that's what my childhood was right there. That's all it was. It was just I was a mild inconvenience to my own
Madison, don't do that. Okay.
Yeah. I was also
you would do something wrong, then they'd say, don't do that. And you'd be like, okay, I'll do that.
I'm like, you got it, Mom. Don't want to get in trouble in the Midwest.
Right.
But I also was a very asthmatic kid. I was an asthmatic kid, so I was very active and I play a lot. But I was like always hooked up to breathing machines, and I want to change the tone here for a little bit. I want to change the vibe of what we're talking about here. I want some sympathy from Heidi and Justin. But
well, what did you do? What did you do? I mean, is it still like, are you still asthmatic, or have you gotten past that?
I think it just went away. I stopped asking questions.
Good.
It just went away. That's amazing.
I think it just went away.
Can you imagine? What was it? One day you were just like, wait a second.
Yes.
Like I'm gone. It's gone.
That's 100% what it was. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, it was.
That's crazy. That's
great. It's actually more common than I think, or than most people might know. I think a lot of adults, when they have it as kids, your lungs develop more, and I think sometimes, this is an interesting topic we're talking about, but your lungs develop more, and sometimes you grow and you grow.
You know what else developed in 1997?
Men in Black
career.
Yes.
Tommy Lee Jones' facial hair. No. And I loved Men in Black. That film was incredible. I saw it multiple times.
Do you remember
where'd you see it?
Where'd you saw it? Yeah.
AMC 20 in Independence, Missouri.
Oh, yep. Okay.
Yeah, because actually
one of the OG.
I live right outside of Kansas City, Independence, and that's where I would see it. Was at the Independence Theater, and I mean that movie was so insane, just with the humor, the laughs, and the effects, which are still very practical. The effects in that film, they still kind of hold up a little bit, and so
a lot of
incredible.
Puppets. A lot of puppets.
So many puppets.
And that AMC 20, I think that AMC in Kansas City, because AMC is where Kansas City is where AMC is headquartered. So they do a lot of their testing. I used to work for AMC. They do a lot of their testing in Kansas City because Kansas City, us Midwesterners, we actually know what works, and so that it can sort of be, sent out to the rest of the world. But that Independence in 97, man, that was a new build. So that was like a big multi-megaplex theater, the 20 screens, right?
That was huge.
Yes.
That was huge. I think it was only like 3 or 4 years old at that point. I think that they had built those in 94.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And maybe that's also why, because I try to really think back of what films I had seen prior to that time. And when I really think about it, I can't remember much before 9 or 10. And I really do think I wasn't seeing, we weren't going to the theater as I was growing up, because I don't remember anything really before that. I mean, I remember all my years before that, but not seeing film. So you're right. It probably came in later, and then we were like, hey, we have a theater here in our city. It's like, we got a Dairy Queen, and we got we got a movie theater. Let's go on and get into some Midwestern trouble. Yeah.
Some Midwestern trouble. A little popcorn, some Starburst.
Yeah.
Some Men in Black. I like what you were saying, Madison, about, I love when a movie's like, when you can say like, and actually, I mean, it still looks good. Like, I was about to ask, like, you guys, I was going to be like, it like holds up, right? Like, the effects still look good. Like, Jurassic Park to me, like, still looks pretty good. And Men in Black is one. But I never know if it's in my own head because I just have like a fond memory and I don't want to admit that it doesn't.
Will Smith still looked great, and the effects were awesome. That was a joke. Yeah. But the effects were awesome. And it was, I think, like the car on the roof and stuff. And I think it was kind of groundbreaking too, like not just with Will Smith's career being so incredible, like we were mentioning before, but by that time he was everywhere and everyone loved to see him go from the show to film. And I think they put so much money into that movie to make it look as just kind of groundbreaking. A lot of those movies were kind of, you remember, like, I know we were supposed to talk about one movie, but you remember like The Mummy as well? Like how groundbreaking that was whenever that came out, and the sand and the face and the computer effects. People weren't doing that so much prior to that time. Yeah. But
my dad still I think every time he goes to get his haircut, asks for the Brendan Fraser and the Mummy cut.
Does
Like
he really?
that has stuck with him. Yes, it's like a modified bowl.
It was a vibe. It was a
or
vibe. I think
a bangless bowl is what it is. I think.
He doesn't want the Brendan Fraser now. He doesn't.
That's
he
more
can
of
ask
it.
for
Well,
that.
sometimes he styles it like that, but his dream is the Mummy Brendan Fraser across the board.
That's a good one. That's not
that's
bad.
a good one.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, Will Smith would have Independence Day was 96, right, Justin? Independence Day was first and then Men in Black.
I think you're right.
I am looking it up, and it was Independence Day was 96. Yeah, Men in Black was his first like lead role. He was obviously like big in Independence Day, but Men in Black
Well,
was like the
also,
first time.
well, no, I think that I mean I would, but I also think Bad Boys was like a year before
Well, right, but I
Independence.
would say that like it was Will Smith was him and Martin Lawrence. He was kind of drafting off Martin Lawrence,
Mm.
right? So they were leads, right? But I wouldn't say
Uh-huh.
Tommy Lee Jones is a lead. I would say that like it really follows Will Smith from the very beginning, that
Mhm.
movie.
Men in Black.
So yeah. So it was like his starring vehicle.
You're right.
That's not Tommy Lee Jones' starring vehicle, right? That was really made for Will Smith to break out. So absolutely, Bad Boys had helped extremely. Independence Day had definitely like got him up, but Men in Black is when he just exploded, and it
Right.
was
Yeah.
like that's when he became like a Tom Cruise level movie star.
Mhm.
Is Men in Black.
There's almost like this thing that they do sometimes whenever an actor is so, or not just an actor, but like a comedic actor. They're so magnetic on screen that they sort of. I feel like maybe the script is written around the person, the actual
Oh yeah.
character a
Yeah.
little bit. They're like, you know
Absolutely.
what, Will Smith, go in there and do your Will Smith thing. And this
Yeah.
movie's it's gonna work. It's gonna sell. Probably a lot of improvised moments and all that. But I also find it so unique, and I don't feel like they do this as much as they used to, that they paired him with Tommy Lee Jones. That's such a
It's great.
bizarre pairing, and it's as bizarre as like bizarre as Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels, like in Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
It's very bizarre, you know,
Yeah.
and it works. And I don't feel like we take as many risks like that anymore. You know, to let's pair this new
Yeah.
hot dynamite performer with someone who, you know, was maybe in some
Yeah.
cowboy flicks.
Well,
It's
and it's
kind
like,
of-
you know, yeah, well, I was gonna say, and sorry, but it's like it's that kind of thing that like it's on the one hand, on the other, right? You've
Mhm.
got this old white guy, right? Who is like he just talks like this, and he's just very, you know, just and then you've got, you know, this young black guy who is super hip. He's very with it, right?
Right.
And it just plays beautifully. Like,
He's
it just
kind of a
play-
cowboy
it's
too. Tommy Lee Jones, kind of a cowboy.
Yo, totally.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
hey, what are you doing there,
absolutely.
Slick?
So,
Hey,
but
how you
Heidi,
doing there?
yeah, you're Heidi, you were gonna chime in on that as
Oh,
well.
I just love combinations like that. And Madison, how you brought up Dumb and Dumber, because yeah, I think probably at the time Dumb and Dumber came out, like you would have wanted like it to be like Jim Carrey and Chris Farley, you know, like that was probably like a kid's dream.
Right.
You want like both, but then it's like you watch a movie like that and having a more grounded actor like Jeff Daniels almost allows Jim Carrey to like be a bigger character and it's
Yes.
believable. But then at the same time, then Jeff Daniels also just went for it. Like
Amazing.
Yeah.
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 What's that about? Like Tommy, you look back and
Was
you're
it-
like, oh wait, I don't think just anybody could have been the straight
No.
man to Jim Carrey. And then I look back at Men in Black. I don't think just anybody could have been the straight man to Will Smith. I'm like, it had to be someone very specific, and that's just great casting.
Mhm.
Whoever comes up with that,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Tommy Lee Jones is that guy. I don't know if you've seen any sort of like
Yes,
footage
I
of
have.
Tommy Lee Jones in junkets.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Please, Catherine, please put like some angry like junket answers from Tommy Lee Jones in this space.
If you could look back over and look at your previous characters you've played, what is one character you know the best and one character that's still mysterious to you over your career?
My mind just cannot get around a question like that. I don't know.
What is the separation between yourself and Agent K?
Well, Agent K is a character in a movie, and I'm me, and I'm real, and there's no...
I don't have any advice, no.
One left, the Chronicle. One newspaper town. Biggest city in the United States.
I did hear somebody describe Tommy in this movie as 50 Shades of Grumpy.
He is just so over it when it comes to promoting films.
He's
and
done.
It's the most hilarious thing. He is done. He does not want to do it at all. And it's just so he's just that character. And it's great. It's like sometimes there are just those people who are just those characters. And
just not even that
is
long
their
ago.
Gift to the world.
Not even that long ago. Like at the Oscars, I think there was like a camera pan to him whenever people were joking about something. You remember this? Yeah, it was the most stoned. I had 3 years of my life gone off of that.
And he wasn't joking. That's the thing. I don't think that he was because they made a joke about Tommy Lee Jones. They cut to him and he's
What are you talking about, Slick?
And I really do not think he was joking.
No.
I appreciate a personality that can do that because that is so far from my like people pleasing.
Yes.
Like
yes.
If someone I can tell desperately needs a laugh, I'm gonna give them the courtesy. I mean, I love that Tommy Lee Jones is like, no, I am not changing 1 ounce of my personality to make you more comfortable.
I envy it so much. You know, Heidi,
I'm not your puppet.
I've had moments where I can do that. Little moments. I don't know if it's just like what's happened to you that day or whatever, whenever I'm around people and I'm like, you know what? I feel really good not trying to give, anything that feels less than genuine to whoever in that moment.
Yeah.
But it's really, it's hard to do it. And maybe you have to get the Tommy Lee Jones, whatever life he's lived to bring him to that. That's the life you got to live to do that, to become that.
He was
do
Al Gore's
class on that.
He went to Harvard. He went to Harvard and he was Al Gore's roommate.
What?
Whoa.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that guy's Harvard educated.
It's an inconvenient
And he
truth.
was Al Gore's roommate. Yes.
Yeah.
It's convenient for this podcast.
That's hilarious. Wow. Al Gore and Tommy Lee, that's going to be the most fun room in that entire.
That's a fun room.
That's a fun room.
Tommy, I've got to tell you that you got to not smoke inside the room.
You're trying to tell me what I'm just going to do here, Slick? Well, let me tell you what I'm telling you right now. That's like Kager at Tommy Lee Jones and Al Gore's room.
That's right. They were wild.
Dude, you going to Al
Him
Gore's
and
later?
Tipper Gore, who tried to institute Tipper Gore, who tried to institute the she was against like rap like the parental advisory on music. Like that's
really?
So not only was it Tommy, it was Al and Tipper. And Tipper was against cursing in music.
Oh my goodness.
Jesus.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that was a fun room.
That's a great room.
Trio.
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones was
That's a great
it,
room.
probably. But it's no country for old men. You know how it goes. I'm so lame.
Wait,
I'm going to keep doing this.
No.
Drop them.
I'm going to keep Can I drop them?
You can drop them whenever you want.
Thanks, y'all.
I had a question though about the Men in Black song. Do you guys remember the like famous dance move from the
Men
video?
in Black? I don't remember the dance. How'd the dance go?
It was
Is
like
it this?
no, it was a little more like very
It was like
good.
this?
Is that called?
Yeah.
That's called.
So it wasn't quite
this?
this.
Milking the
But
cow.
it was a little. Here it comes. It was like it was a little more milk.
It was the milk in the cow. I don't think it was like up in your face like this.
We did it for my
the shoulders were up. The shoulders were up.
I don't know. We gotta look at it. We'll get the clip in there.
I was right. I was right.
Heidi, can you just keep doing that for the whole rest of the episode? Can you just keep doing that? Like, so Madison, tell me about like growing up in like Independence and like.
Yeah, how was Independence?
That's why you got. That's why you got to watch the podcast. You got to watch the
start
podcast
singing
at
with
some
your
point.
mom.
Yeah, I know, right?
No,
Come
we-
the Men in Black.
I mean that.
Didn't she do
That
like a
already
little?
looks.
Well,
a
you're
lot
much better. You're much better.
I don't even know what I'm
gonna.
Hold up, I'm going to look at the camera. Everybody, if you're listening to this podcast on Spotify, get on the YouTubes and check them out so you can see a little bit of this action.
Yes.
You don't even know what I'm
Check
doing.
out Madison dance.
Because we did
and
it
Heidi
for freshman orientation, like our skit in high school.
Really?
The freshman class, we did a whole Men in Black dance, and we were all in the suits, and some of us had
Because
alien
the aliens,
masks.
the aliens were dancing too.
Yes. Oh,
It
yeah.
was a thing.
That's right.
It was those skinny
Video.
aliens. Those skinny aliens that were like in like getting the coffee, and they were like New Yorkers, or they were just really rude.
And the whole idea. Oh, also Vincent D'Onofrio's performance in this film. It still to me is one of the best performances, like of a villain. My dad used to get such a kick out of this guy who's an alien, but trying so hard to keep his human suit on, and the way he would walk, and he would he would always talk like this. He had kind of that voice. And my dad would die laughing at this guy. And I'm watching my dad crack up watching. I'm like, this is an incredible film. Yeah. That and something else in this specific. Oh, just the idea of like, you never know who is from another planet. Like as a kid, that's the most magical, like amazing thought. Who's an alien, who's not.
You still that's the thing. That's the thing. You still think that there is magic in the world like that. You still think it could happen around that age, right?
Yes.
You're like, these adults are not leveling with me. Like this could, I bet something's going on.
I bet my
you're still trying to
teacher is
figure that
wearing
out.
a skin suit. I bet my teacher is gonna, my evil, mean teacher is gonna reveal their real alien self. It was always like that in books and movies. Yeah.
Absolutely. And some people never grow out of it, apparently. Like, I think it's only gotten worse with YouTube and like social media. People are like, no. And they eat children. And, and like there's just, people are crazier now than they ever have been. And I think that they just want to revert back to that childhood wonder, of like I blame Vincent D'Onofrio.
I do too.
That's basically what.
And what's with
I blame Vincent D'Onofrio. He was too convincing.
What's with his career? He's
Hot
playing in
take.
The Cell, and
I was about to bring up The Cell.
Is there a photo shoot happening over in Heidi's room?
It's thunder or lightning.
Is that what's happening?
Okay.
Yes, I've been shocked.
It's God's photo shoot.
And there's also a full photo shoot.
That's good.
There's also a full.
I needed to knock out a podcast and a photo shoot tonight.
I got to do a couple things at once.
2 in 1.
Is it bad I'm still eating the Starburst? I'm the only one.
No.
And these are like...
No.
But I'll ask you, has your opinion changed on orange or yellow?
Let's see. Haven't had a single orange this whole time. I've been dancing around orange, and
you can throw those away. It's not needed.
Oh, give them to the cats. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
cats love Starburst.
I think once you get on the Starburst train, it all just tastes like candy, and you're done with the linoleum and the Lysol and the Pine Sol.
Yeah, it gets you. It gets
there
its hooks
is
in you.
That has been a hot take with some of the guests on the show, the different candies we've had. Sometimes people have just been like, aren't all Skittles the same flavor? Or like, I feel like some people's candy flavor profiles, even though there's different colors in the bag, I think a lot of people are like, they just blend in. I don't know what I'm tasting candy. The flavor is candy.
I think that I'm tasting a weird hard rock that becomes something else if you press a little harder. I do think Skittles are kind of all. I mean, for me personally, I hate to be the trend, but I don't taste much of a difference, to be honest with you.
If they were here in front of you, my friend, I think that you would feel much differently, because if you're putting those things in your mouth separately, they've got their own flavors.
You want to place some sort of wager on?
Let's place a wager. Come back.
You want to put some money
You're
on this?
welcome to come back anytime. We'll do a Skittle jam.
I got my keys.
We'll see.
Can you guys just hold on for like about a good 30?
Let's just cut it out.
Just hold on for a hard 30, and I'm going to be right back.
That's right. I'll reimburse you. I'll reimburse you the Starburst if you go get some Skittles. No, I'm kidding. Heidi, you had a take on Starburst or Skittles. I cut you off. Please.
No. I was just gonna say, because Justin, you were like, I bet if there was a bag in front of you, Madison, you'd feel differently. But I feel like Andrew Dismukes his episode was Gobstoppers, but I think he was also saying Skittles. That, you know, he was basically like, they all taste the same.
Mm-hmm.
Skittles different flavors?
Yeah, they are. Definitely.
See, I feel like I've never noticed.
We're
I know there are different
expanding
flavors.
Andrew's horizons tonight.
I wasn't allowed to. I was a very sheltered child.
This is what I'm saying. I feel like at this point, I want to be like a candy psychologist or psychiatrist because I'm learning about personalities. And I actually believe, and when we do our candy Skittle jam, I believe that there is a certain type of person that thinks all Skittles taste the same. I want to find out more about what this means about their personality. But right now it's Madisen Ward, it's Andrew Dismukes.
Skittle psychologist.
Oh, so you think it's kind of like whenever the sound thing came out and people heard Yanni or they heard, what was the other one? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
They either heard Yanni.
Or the blue dress, yellow dress.
Yeah.
Blue dress, white dress.
And so you
or
think
like
there's
how
two kinds of people. There's either people who know Skittles and people who don't know Skittles.
Well, there's definitely two kinds of people.
Is
it Yanni? Is it Yanni or Laurel?
Laurel. That was the other one.
Laurel.
Yeah.
Yanni.
Yeah.
It was weird, right? It was whatever you like said in your head. That's what you heard.
I heard Yanni, I believe. I always heard
I heard
Yanni.
both.
Yeah.
I heard both because if I would say it in my head, I would hear it. And then if that, and it was this, and there's other stuff like that too, though.
But
There's other sounds
what we
like
call, that. You're what we call an omni. You're right there on the fence. You have both going.
I'm a polymath.
Yeah, you're
That's
a polymath. Right. Yeah. You're a polymathematician. Yes.
Heidi, Yanni or Laurel? Yanni or Laurel?
I never heard this thing.
Wait,
but I'm
you never heard
positive I would have heard Yanni.
I don't know. It's weird. It's like, I'm sure at this point we're going to play it.
Laurel. Laurel. Laurel.
And we're going to, and you will tell us in the comments,
yes,
what you think, Yanni or Laurel. What do you hear? We're bringing it back around because this thing, Yanni and Laurel, was back in 2018. So a few years back.
It really deserves to come back.
Well, it deserves to come back because it is just such a weird thing.
Sounds like Heidi's about to revamp this though with her Skittle psychology. She's gonna basically do like a Pepsi Coke challenge, and if you either taste the difference between Skittles or you don't. And I think there should be some sort of reward system or punishment system based off of which one of those. Yeah. What do you think? I think maybe like.
Well, I mean, that would be terrible if I punished those who think all Skittles taste the same. I mean, personally, I want to punish you because I just can't fathom that. But I have to believe that it's a thing in people, and I have to understand that because it's been proven. You said it. Dismuke said it. It's
I think. Like, well, I don't know that that's proof. I think that
I do.
I think
are we done?
I think Dismukes is a little too cool for school. He's like, oh, they all they taste the same to me,
I don't even know what
I think that's Dismukes' vibe.
That was like a Texas boy. We've got a Midwestern trouble boy here. We have to believe him. He's KC.
One more.
Here's an uncool guy.
I just want one more piece of evidence. I'm not saying I just don't think that it's proven yet. Right.
It needs to be a woman next time too.
A woman.
True.
Yeah.
A woman of color.
Yeah.
Yes.
It needs to be.
Okay.
That's right.
Mama Bear.
Ooh, she don't need no Skittles. She's like,
she can do the Skittle jam.
So, boy, if y'all get out of here. Mama Bear doesn't count.
I don't want your Skittles, boy.
I don't want your Skittles. Boy, what is this, a Mamba? She's like, I only eat Mamba.
Yeah, that's right.
Mamba
Classy
Bear.
Mama.
Yeah, Madison Ward of the Mamba Bear. No, but yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm breaking into your segue.
We came back to because we came back to candy, which it's like, okay, well, that's a perfect lead in to our next Where We Were When. You've got another movie that you have some memories around. What's that one, Madison?
That film is called Rush Hour, another buddy cop film. Men in Black aren't really cops. Oh, actually, last
No,
thing
but
I'll
it's
say-
no, that's true. It's a buddy. Yeah.
You
got
like
the buddies.
buddies.
You like buddies.
And yet I'm here.
It's a very buddy
and yet I'm here all
podcast.
alone. Yes. I love buddies.
No, we're buddies.
I think
We're
I'm,
buddies.
I'm crying out. This is a cry for help. I need
That's
someone
right.
in my life.
We'll be your buddies.
Yeah, we're your buddies right now. For the next
God.
like 20 minutes.
20 minutes or so. Yeah. I'll just rewatch
Still
this.
buddies.
Yeah.
I'll rewatch
We
this
got, yeah,
crying
it's
in
got-
an apartment.
I had friends for about an hour and a half.
About an hour. I want to be a gardener.
You can
You
see
got
like
it. You're done.
where
It's
we-
done.
Yes.
you can see where we grew like really close, and then the second that you said all Skittles taste the same, it's like we dropped
Yeah.
you
Just
from the
veered.
friend group.
Totally done. Yeah. It reminds me of being on the
That's a-
playground in high school. Everything's coming back to me now. Yes.
That's the very definition of Midwestern trouble. You know, you just
Yeah.
disagree with us a little bit and we cut you
Yeah.
out of our
Just
lives.
this much, and I slightly cower. But I will say
That's right.
one thing about Men in Black is that not the most unassuming title for what they do in the film? Like, what are we going to call them? They're wearing black and they're men. Boom.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
very
Great.
interesting that the title is so
Simple.
yes, just they're men and they're wearing black.
So simple, but it's so epic and like, yeah.
Right.
But so is
So
Rush
simple.
Hour. It's in the vernacular.
Rush
Right.
Hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rush Hour, right? It's just it's a very like and it like Men in Black is a very breezy film, you know? But they're both
Mhm.
good. That's the thing. They hold up. Both of them hold up.
They really
They
do.
both have good storylines. They've got
Yep.
good scripts. They don't cheat
Mhm.
that I remember. Like they don't cheat. Like they're both solid. They're solid picks. So what is it about Rush Hour that like you remember and where did you see it?
Well, I saw Rush Hour. I think it's probably the same theater because I was thinking a moment ago whenever you all mentioned
Yep.
Independence Day, and I was thinking for a second, I was like, I'm pretty sure I saw Independence Day in the theater too, but it came out before. Where did I see that? I think I saw it at a place called the
Mhm.
Faro Theater, which is a dollar theater in Independence. If anybody
Yeah.
remembers this one,
Independence Square.
come
It's still
on,
there,
baby.
I think.
Whoa.
It's right
Yeah.
right over there. Like I live close to this theater, not far. But I went there to see.
Is it still called the
Independence Day.
Pharaoh? Is it
Still-
still called the Pharaoh?
Oh, it's still the Pharaoh, baby. And I had some
Oh
friends
man,
there.
that's awesome.
I had some friends that worked there, and they let me come in and watch movies. But I remember seeing Independence Day there, Men in Black at AMC the next year, and then Rush Hour was probably the year after Men in Black or so. I think it was '98, maybe.
Mhm.
And that film was incredible. Another buddy cop movie. And one thing I want to say about Rush Hour. This is something I don't even know how to really articulate what happened in the theater, but it was a moment where you really saw a comedy that came out that was it really was sweeping through the nation. And when you were in the theater, it was packed, and the expressions on people's faces around you, the sounds that they made by the time you get to the very end of the film and the bloopers are on, there was not a single person
Oh,
in
right.
that theater who was not howling at the theater, not howling at the screen. And it was like this incredible mass hypnosis. When you think back on it, you're like, we are all just here existing in this moment, having this really incredible time. So much so that my birthday passed recently, just few weeks back. And I told my family, I was like, hey, guess what we're watching tonight, y'all? On my birthday. They said, what? I said, we're watching Rush Hour. And I took Rush Hour,
Nice.
and when we go to Amazon, I was like, $3.99. No, but we rent the film and we turn it on and we're all watching Rush Hour. And it really, like you said, holds up. A lot of jokes that maybe you can't quite get away with today, but we were sitting there cracking up. We were howling. And by the end of it again, these bloopers come on. I had like my sister-in-law who was half paying attention, other people who weren't even watching it. But by the time that the bloopers came on, you would look around, everyone was glued to the screen. That's how good that rhythm of that film was. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just a weird mass hypnosis.
Well, you did describe it so well. Like what you just did made me so happy, Madison, because number one, I'm like, definitely, I remember seeing Rush Hour but I'm definitely going to watch it again now because I loved your description so much. And you are so right. Like there were those movies, especially like late 90s movies, that were just big comedies that like we don't see that much anymore, even that just like, yeah, brought the house down, brought the theater down. Like honestly, I haven't been in a movie theater in a while watching a comedy that like there was howls like that. And I remember that's totally how it was. And the
Yes.
blooper thing at the end was such a treat.
So good.
Right. And you saw this guy who was, by the way, Chris Tucker was coming off of Friday and all this stuff. And he was kind of, he never quite did it, but kind of doing what Will Smith did at this time where we were like, oh, you just point the camera at this guy and it doesn't matter what he's going to say. The crowd will crack up. That's how good, because he's an incredible comedian. And now you've paired him with this guy who is this Chinese I don't know what his martial art actually was, but martial artist actor who was incredible. And you've paired them together. We've never seen anything like that on screen. You never saw a black cop and an Asian martial arts expert policeman together in a buddy comedy, but it's also incredible stunts and fight moves you've never seen before. It really was doing something so groundbreaking in the cultural stuff in there too. Let's talk about our musical background and everything, the food. It was just an incredible cultural mashup. But yeah, I'm trying to think of one other movie that I can think of in the past 10 years that did the howling thing. And I thought of Wedding Crashers. That was another film that kind of did that. But
yeah,
the 90s is where it was, though.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that the way you were describing Chris Tucker, it's like, yes, a similar Will Smith vibe, but I would also say like even funnier and Eddie Murphy-esque.
Oh,
like, I mean,
Eddie Murphy. Yeah,
yeah,
the next
just
Eddie
like
Murphy.
Yes.
Beyond. Yeah, point the camera. Let me do anything. The second I smile, I make you happy.
Right.
And then yeah, it's like, I mean, you have such gifts in this film because you've got the gift of like a comedic genius, and then you have like the best martial artist in the world. And so it's like, that's such a cool thing too, that I'm sure there were people that went just for the Chris Tucker factor. And then they're like, oh, fuck. Like, those moves rule. These fights are awesome. Like,
his own stunts.
Oh, wait. And then you find out that it's magic, basically, but it's real. He's doing all that.
And he actually could act. That was a weird thing, too. He could actually act. If you go back, Jackie Chan was doing really decent acting for.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Well, he's been
straight manning Chris Tucker and like being hilarious doing that.
But being funny, like that's the thing. It's like Jackie
Yes.
Chan is like really, really funny. And like he had done before Rush Hour, they had basically decided, okay, Jackie Chan's films are so fucking good that we are going to just release them in the United States and dub them. And so Police Story 2, I forget exactly what they were called, but there were like 3 movies that came out. Rumble in the Bronx.
Oh, I love that.
That was the first one I ever saw, I think.
Yeah. And so Jackie Chan, like there were 3 movies that came out and it was like, holy shit, that guy is actually like doing his stunts. And they show him in one, like famously, jumping from one building to another and breaking his fucking ankle.
Oh
like while they were shooting a scene. And he just became famous. Like overnight. Of course he was famous in China, but overnight it was Jackie Chan. Because he just was like, people were just in awe of this guy putting his body on the line, but he had been doing this for years, right? So like it wasn't a big deal to him, but in the US we were very obviously like aware of this, that people didn't do their own stunts, right? Because they could get hurt.
Yeah.
And then we see this guy getting hurt. And I think like, that really just catapulted him. So you got this really, really hot comedian who's coming off of Friday, which was so funny.
Jackie Brown.
And you've got Jackie Chan.
He was in Jackie Brown for a little bit, I think. Yeah.
He was in Jackie Brown too. And then you've got Jackie Chan, who just brings, that's the thing with Jackie Chan. He just brings instant credibility to a movie when it comes to action. Like back
Mhm.
then, it was
Yeah.
if Jackie
Yes, ma'am.
Chan's in it, you know, like, okay, I'm gonna go see that action film because that is gonna be a legit action movie with him doing the stunts and him going through all the things. I mean, he was like, he was like in his like late 40s when he was doing that.
Yeah. And
You know?
everybody
Yeah.
That's
wanted to
insane.
do the Jackie Chan moves. Like, I remember me and my friends just being swept by it. And it was kind of like how Kung Fu really broke out in the 70s and everybody was trying to
Right.
do Kung Fu. It was having had a whole resurgence, and it's going to have another one, like me and my friends were all just like trying to do the moves, breaking our ankles, breaking our necks and our hips. And we were like, I don't know how we survived, but we were doing whatever we could. And then I also remember by the time you get to that end, those bloopers, and they're going back and forth, you can tell that these guys had an incredible time making the film. That they were like, that they were good friends. And there's this scene also whenever, Chris Tucker has that famous line like, $50 million, who the hell you think you kidnapped? Chelsea Clinton? He says that, or he says that, and he can't get Chelsea Clinton out. And he keeps on saying, is it Chelsea or Kelsey?
What's the line? $50 million? Who you think you got, Chelsea? Is it Chelsea or Kelsey? $50 million? Who you think you got, Chelsea Carter? $50 million? Who you think you got, Chelsea Grandma? Chelsea.
And it reminds me of every, I swear, it reminds me of every aunt, uncle I've ever grown up with. Is it Chelsea or Kelsey? And he keeps trying to do it. And I just remember this audience howling every time he tried to get there. $50 million. Who you think you kidnapped, Chelsea Clinton? And we are just cracking up, man. And it was just, it was an insane experience. I think I'm sure I went to see it multiple times. Yeah.
This is the best advertisement for Rush Hour that there's ever been. I mean, I feel like I'm watching it definitely tonight or tomorrow night at this point.
You have to.
And I'm so excited. And I just have to say really quickly, because when you were describing you and your friends doing all the moves, Justin, I'm sorry, but I remember times after, and it might not have been a Jackie Chan movie. Sometimes.
You are going to call me out, and I deserve it because I wish we had videotape. It would be like the Jedi kid.
Oh no!
When the kid sets up the camera and is like doing the Jedi moves,
Oh no!
It would be that cringeworthy. So go ahead. Go ahead.
So I don't even want to say it was after we saw Jackie Chan movies, because at that point Justin had maybe just grown up a little more. I'm going to say it was after he had watched some Jean-Claude Van Damme stuff.
Oh boy.
He would take our Mammo and Bampo's push broom, and he would take off like the head of the broom and just have...
You could unscrew it.
Yes.
You could unscrew it.
Oh yeah.
And just have the wooden pole. And he'd go out to their backyard. And usually, I don't know, when Justin and I were at Mammo and Bampo's, we would do a lot of stuff together. We'd swim together. But when
this is my own thing.
When he would pull out the broom handle, this was his own thing, and I wasn't invited out, but I would watch through the window.
David S. Pumpkins. It's his own thing. Yeah.
It's my own thing, man.
And Justin would be fully doing whatever
he
thought he just saw in the movie.
Dude, you're not alone.
Not just that.
You're not alone.
Okay.
I swear I
what
did
you
that.
just said, tumbling. Okay. So our grandfather would have these big pieces of styrofoam.
More like stumbling.
Because it was. He'd have these big pieces of styrofoam that he would acquire on the Lake of the Ozarks. He'd just find them floating. He would bring them back because he would want to put them underneath his dock.
He just found them floating.
Right. So he had them in the backyard, and they were these big. I mean, I'm telling you, they were these
or he'd
big,
shoot arrows at it. He'd put
or he'd shoot arrows.
targets on it.
Actually, that's what it was. He would shoot arrows at it. Right.
Oh my gosh.
So there were some that were just or I would pull the arrows out and I would just use it, and I would tumble on the styrofoam, and the styrofoam isn't like it doesn't feel great. It's not very soft. Also, it just sort of explodes. So I would be covered in this styrofoam just jism.
Yeah, it really does. It gets all over you, right? This little...
It gets all over you.
It's like Dippin' Dots.
And I'm sure I would come back in thinking I had just acted like a badass, covered in this styrofoam jizz.
Drinking Gatorade, like
Here's
Napoleon
Heidi
Dynamite just coming in.
looking at me, just being like, I thought he was cool. but now I
Oh
know
my
better.
I'm
Now I
trying to
know
think
better.
back what my little brain
Oh,
was
man.
thinking because
That's so
I
good.
was such an outsider looking out in on that one where I was like, why don't I get to go out there and play this too? And so I don't know that I thought that you were totally not cool. I knew something was a little off about it, but
eventually.
that move, the tumble. I mean, I can just see you with the stick to the side and then going forward
And then, forward
to come
somersault.
Up. Yeah, and immediately into a stand, like without
that's
like
right.
using your hands
it.
to stand up. It's like, yes,
I can,
the move.
I can see it right now as I look at Justin. I can
Madison,
see it.
I did it.
Yeah.
I did it, and I nailed it. And I nailed it. And I nailed it. Did it look cool? I don't know. Probably.
It was very
But-
Ninja Turtle, actually.
Yes.
That's right.
Did you do nunchucks? Did you ever do
I
the
will say this
nunchucks?
though. I will say this.
Yes, he did.
Yes,
He
of
did.
course I did.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Heidi looks so upset.
I did take
Yeah.
2 years of Taekwondo. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wasn't just out there faking it.
okay.
I knew how to break some boards. I knew how to break some boards.
Well, Justin Chan.
But again, if this were on, Justin Chan, if this were on videotape,
Yes,
I
it would
guarantee
be-
you, it would look amazing.
we would.
It would look great.
It would look great,
Yeah.
but it'd also be hilarious.
They might
It
reach
would
out
be
to you for
hilarious.
like the Olympics or something like that. Just a
I will
possible.
tell you this: it was lucky that like we didn't grow up during this time because I guarantee you that she would have been filming it with her
Oh yes.
camera of some sort, you know.
Or I mean, we
Or I would have
basically
filmed
lived.
it.
Or we basically lived on the side of a highway. Someone would have seen that shit and pulled out their phone and pulled over and been like, "Yeah, this is
Look
good."
at what this crazy white boy's doing. Look
Look.
Y'all see this?
at that white boy roll.
He think he Jackie
Boy's got a
Chan.
stick. Hey, look, that's Justin. Is that Justin Chan?
Is
That's Justin Chan.
Is that Chris Tucker?
Oh my god, it was. So
I do believe that is Justin Chan.
Dude, see back in the day, it was hard to get a video out quick. You had to get the VHS tape, and you had to get
No,
the thing.
well, there was nowhere to put it.
No,
There was
you had
nowhere
to,
to put
like,
it.
hold
There was
way
only
up here.
America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah, and I don't know how that ever even happened.
My memory of Rush Hour. My memory of Rush Hour was Chris Tucker saying
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
that line was like because it encapsulated everything about that movie. It was like
Yes.
there was a language barrier. He was impatient.
Mhm.
And it just was such a but what you said about the people staying after the movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? That special time where people I forget exactly what movie did it, but the bloopers that came after
Yeah.
the movie.
Yes.
I just remember that being like such a thing.
And I think it caught on too. Like I think Rush Hour was one of the bigger ones that did it, and then everyone was trying
Yeah.
to do the bloopers
Absolutely.
after that. Like we got to do bloopers.
Totally.
We got to do bloopers.
And I
think
think
Austin
Jackie
Powers
Chan
started doing it.
Yep.
They did, but here's the thing: the Jackie Chan movies, the ones that were dubbed, did have those.
Really?
Because they showed all the stunts gone bad. Yeah, and that
Oh
was
my
And that
God.
was
before
cool
Rush
too.
Hour.
That's probably.
And I think that's one of the reasons why they did it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did. They made sure that they did it because that was a Jackie Chan thing, so that they
Tribute.
could basically say, "Hey, this guy's a fucking bona fide hero because he
Right.
actually does these things." And then they just did comedy on top of
Right.
it because they also did. I'm pretty sure that they showed how stunts got fucked up too.
Yes.
And
they did. They did.
And then it was like Jackie Chan doing some like stunts, and then Chris Tucker fucking up a line, and then
Yes.
Jackie Chan doing some stunts, and then
Yeah.
Chris Tucker fucking up a
Yes.
line. And then I think like Jackie Chan probably fucked up a line too, and like it was just this perfect combination.
And then by
of
the end,
action
you
and
see
comedy,
them-
which is what that movie was.
Yeah, you're right. It was a perfect combination. It was like, it's like people realizing that it's a PB&J sort of moment, and at the end, you see them both kind of like I think like on a plane, like and they're just constantly they can't get this line out, but you really do see that camaraderie, and you see this friendship there. And I'd be hard. I mean, they made 3 of those films. I'd be hard to think that they didn't remain friends long after that. But also like the scene where they're sharing the music, and he's going over the song War, that war.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is a good, and they're doing this whole scene. And I'm just like, I'm watching it, and now I watched it with an adult mind, and I'm seeing how seamless they got into these scenes. Because whenever things started for a second feeling dry, that's right whenever the film would take that cut into something. There was a moment when they were in the car, and you're kind of watching them, and you're like, all right, I get it. He doesn't understand Jackie Chan. You know, I get it. And you're kind of a little moment of this might be getting dry, and then Jackie Chan just turns on the radio, and Beach Boys comes out. He's like, I love Beach Boys, great American music. And then Chris Tucker, they're like, don't you ever touch a black man's radio, boy? And he turns the station to me. But it cuts through at a time where, as a viewer, you feel your own attention span kind of go, whoa, and it just. I think only the best movies can do that with the editing, and it's so concise, that film. It's pretty incredible. Yeah.
Well, I think also celebrating those differences too, you know, it's like, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you know, sometimes I think that gets a little lost nowadays.
Right.
Is like, there's the ability to just kind of laugh at that and just like celebrate, like, you know, those differences. And there's comedy inherent in that. It's like, we're from different places. We're from different cultures. Right.
Yes.
But like when it comes together and it gets synthesized like that in something like Rush Hour, it can be something that we laugh at, and we share a common communal experience based around those differences. And I think that that's one of the reasons why Rush Hour also just resonated so much.
Yeah.
Is you're right. It was like, oh, is it going to go into this like kind of like easy, dumb place?
Yeah.
And it didn't.
No.
It never did. Right. It always like came back around. Right. And it was always sort of refreshed that idea.
Yes.
And I think it was special because of that. And it was one of those, I mean, I really do think like Chinese culture, you know, is from I remember, I've tried to watch The Golden Child recently.
Ooh, I haven't seen that in a while.
That does not hold up.
No. I actually knew that. I think I knew that like 4 years after I saw it. I knew that didn't hold up.
Yeah. No, it does not.
No.
And then they take very easy tropes, and it's very evident. And it's very evident that they're not trying to do that, right? Whereas something like Rush Hour is just it works on a completely different level, and that's why it's so it sticks with you.
Yeah.
You know, and you want to watch it again and again.
It really, and the amount of gags in that film that land are insane. Like, I mean, I kept on watching it. I was like, these are all funny right now. These are funny today. There's one gag where, you know, you see, like Chris Tucker goes into this bar. There's an old guy there, and he's like smoking, and Chris Tucker just starts grilling him about him smoking weed, and this, like, what are you doing? What are you smoking marijuana? What is that? Let me see that. And he's like, oh, it's a cigarette. Man, this is sick of weed. And he goes, no, man, it's he's like, I'm smoking a cigarette. He's like, boy, you better have glaucoma. And he says, I do. He's like, trust me, I do. He's like, he goes, I'm confiscating this, and puts it in his like jacket. He keeps walking. They go into the back.
It's so good.
Oh, it's so good. So good. And they go in the back, and the gangster
and
that
it's
they
such a
find
subtle,
is like his cousin. It's his actual cousin, but he's trying to pretend that he's a gangster. I was like, these are great gags, man. It's incredible.
So good.
So good.
And it's also callback to Friday too.
It is.
Right? It's like a fun little callback to Friday.
Yeah.
So there's so much good stuff about that movie. And what you were saying about that, them being friends too, I think it just would almost be impossible to not be friends with Jackie Chan.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That guy. I mean, I have to imagine
Lovable.
that is like probably the nicest. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Earnest,
he's probably the best guy on set. Always trying to like make people feel great. Probably giving people presents, right? And just celebrating the people that make his job easier, right?
Oh, dude,
definitely that ethos.
Giving Skittles and cantaloupes, and he's probably also. I imagine.
That's right.
I also imagine. He probably gives, like, you can tell he gives everything to whatever he's working on. That guy, he gives up. That's why he's had such a long lasting career. He gives so much to the film. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was an incredible where we were when pick. Oh my God, there's so much lightning.
I know.
That was kind of I want your backdrop. I don't have that one. That was incredible.
It's an interactive backdrop.
I felt like we've just kind of talked about a magical movie and a magical time and of comedies, and then that like lightning struck, and it means that what I was saying was significant.
It solidified Rush Hour. It solidified Rush Hour. It's like
solidified Rush Hour.
You can't buy that production value. Well, you can buy the production value.
I mean, that was CGI for this, pretty much. That was a visual effect. Catherine's not going to have to do anything at this point, at that moment.
It's
it already happened.
That easy. It's that easy.
Are you in New York out there?
I'm in New York, and I wasn't expecting rain or thunder tonight, but
there's a lot going on. Now
Surprise.
Now there's traffic. There's a whole film going on behind you. This is insane. Look at this. This is like rush hour.
Oh yeah, that's a bridge.
That's rush hour.
That's a bridge.
Yeah.
Well, back there's it's like built a skyscraper, and I mean, yeah, it's a very rush hour.
You're a late night host
moment for me. Yeah. A late night host, rush hour, all of that.
10:30.
10:30.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you're on.
It's getting to be that time.
Oh, boy.
We've come to the end of our memories, our nostalgia. We've talked about our movies. We've talked about our candy. But Madison, what we like to do to end the show, or to almost end the show, is to bring things up to date, current, with a segment we like to call That's So Raven, where you tell us about something you're currently into, you're currently obsessed with, something that you can't get enough of.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a That's So Raven for us?
I do. I really do. If it's something that I'm currently obsessed with, can it be something that I've always been obsessed with as well? Like I'm still...
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Absolutely. Those are the best ones.
Okay. Well, for me, I would have to say there's a band that I've really been into, and I
nice.
grew up on this band. My sister was the first one to introduce them to me. And it's sort of been like an inspiration for my mom and I by the time that we actually started playing together. And it was a band called Elliot and the Designers. I don't know if I said that correct. Elliot and the Designers.
Elliot and the Designers. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know many people that know this band. You know the band?
Who are they? No, I feel like I know all the same music as Justin.
So Madison, you should explain, because there's a little bit of like a story with them.
Yeah, they okay, well, you know how like Led Zeppelin, whenever they came over, they were heavily influenced by like Muddy Waters, and a lot of these sort of English bands came over, and they were sort of influenced by Southern blues, and these
like Cream.
Exactly. And they had these incredible voices. You look at Robert playing How Many More Times, and he clearly is he's being Muddy Waters is in him. That's what Elliot and the Designers, it was the same story, the British invasion sort of thing. They came over, they're kind of like Beatles-ish sort of 70s 60s. I mean, I don't even know where they first started, because my sister was the one who introduced them to me. And I've loved this band so much. And it's funny because there's this is weird. There's no designers. Elliot and the Designers is a band. It's a band of one. It's one guy. And, but he just goes.
It's just Elliot?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the Foo Fighters, right? So like the Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl, I don't know if guys know this, but Dave Grohl, the first Foo Fighters album, he basically did like everything on that album. Yeah, and that's exactly what this is. So like I think he got the inspiration from Elliot and the Designers.
Yes.
And Dave Grohl like basically like recorded the entire Foo Fighters album by himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they went out on tour, that's when he got people to, I believe, he might have like gotten a couple people to kind of, but that's the same thing.
Right.
So
I feel like I remember that first Foo Fighters album, but I didn't. And I mean, I like know that I was like watching all the videos and Dave Grohl interviews at the time, but I didn't know that he got that idea from Elliot and the Designers.
Yeah, because
I don't know if he actually said it, but
yeah.
I mean, I didn't see any interviews.
Well, I thought
he had to though.
I heard Dave Grohl was originally just going to call it Foo Fighter. And then he decided to call it Foo Fighters as he later started to add other guests. But apparently, Dave, is it Grohl? He was originally going to call it Foo Fighter. And then later on, some other bandmates. Yeah. But he got a lot of...
But is it...
Sorry.
I thought that I heard... No. I thought that I heard that like it was
Heidi, are you good? I feel
same
like
thing.
Heidi, you seem...
Yeah, no, I'm like my mind's getting blown because
I didn't know if you were messing with me, because I was like, Heidi, no, I thought maybe you knew the band, and then the way you were sort of responding kind of
No,
threw me off.
I've met Dave Grohl once. I don't know
Right.
the band, and I did not know that they were originally just supposed to be Foo Fighter.
Well, Madison,
he
let
was.
me.
Just
But
him.
what
He was, right.
wasn't that though? Wasn't that the same thing with Elliot and the Designers? Because Elliot wanted to make it seem like there was a band,
Yes.
and it was good. So he was originally going to be Elliot the Designer,
Yeah, exactly.
and then they did
Yeah.
that, and so I
Yeah.
believe that Dave Grohl did the same thing. Like it was that same thing, and so it has to be an homage. It has to be.
I think it is, and I think if you look into it, I think in some of the old there's an old I know there's a documentary somewhere. I remember one time on PBS there was an Elliot and the Designers documentary, and they did talk about this.
Ooh, I'll watch that.
You need to, and he does sort of different. There's other voices in the band, but he's doing all the voices basically. Like, so you think there's like multiple singers, like the way you have John Lennon, Paul McCartney.
Right.
He's doing. He just changes up. It's like an impression almost.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then they also that movie also documents him moving on to that band Air Traffic Controllers.
Oh yeah.
And it's really
Well,
I haven't heard of it.
No, Air Traffic
Not
Controllers
Air
was
Supply?
first, I believe. Air Supply.
Oh, that's you're right. You're right.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Air
No,
Supply.
you're
I haven't
totally
even
right.
heard of that band. I've heard of Air Supply, but not Air Traffic Controllers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, moving on from Air Traffic Controllers to Elliot and the Designers.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that documentary.
Well,
But they
Madison's
influenced
a musician.
me and my mom. That's
Okay,
our
yes.
whole-
I'm saying
That's great.
because they influenced you and your mom, I will definitely not only be looking up Elliot the Designers and Air Traffic Controllers, but I will be watching the PBS documentary as well. Thank you.
It's streaming right now. Please do.
Okay. Oh my God, so easy. Okay, so you had that one. That's something that you've been into your whole life. Did you have another one that you wanted to share? That's so Raven.
Oh, I've been watching a show recently, and I'm curious if you guys have. And if you have, it could be a cool conversation. If you haven't, we're done in less than 2 seconds. Have you guys? Have you seen a show called The Expanse? Has anybody seen this show? Is anybody into sci-fi?
I have seen it I've seen the image on Netflix.
Oh, really?
But it doesn't matter. Like, you're telling us what's cool. So like, you tell us why you love it.
I was curious if you guys have seen it. It's a show that's on Prime right now, actually. It's actually on Prime.
But
it started off on Sci-Fi, and 3 seasons on like Sci-Fi, then it's on Prime. But I like to look at it as like, I call it like, have you ever seen The Wire? It's like The Wire in space, in my opinion. Because
I'm in. I love The Wire.
Oh, I don't know if you know this. My uncle is actually one of the cast members of The Wire. He's Senator Clay Davis. Did you know this? Yeah, Senator Clay Davis is my mom's brother.
Wait.
Go ahead and do it.
Wait.
That's it.
That's him?
Oh yeah, that's him.
Yes,
yeah.
That's amazing.
That's my mom's brother. Yeah.
Shit, partner.
I can't even do it right now because I have to like wake up in the morning and do it.
You have some starburst. Then. You can't do it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love that. Remind me of his name. I've seen him.
His name's Isaiah
in stuff.
Isaiah Whitlock Jr. He's in a bunch of Spike Lee films, and yeah, he's he's in the show called Your Honor with Bryan Cranston right now on Showtime, and I
gotta check it out.
He's incredible. But The Wire is what that is. The Expanse is a sci-fi show, and it's people who are from Earth, and they've now colonized Mars, and they've become basically their own two factions, like Earth and Mars are always almost on the brink of war, and then you have these planets that are in the middle that are called within the asteroid belt, and they're called belters. So everybody has their own area throughout the solar system, and it's very like political. It's very detailed. It's very human, family, all sorts of stuff, and the effects are incredible, and the acting is incredible. And I can't get enough of this show. There's only 5 seasons out.
I'm so excited.
I'm in.
Check it out.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's just I think
Expanse.
it's very dense. It's based off of all these books, so it's like definitely give it some time when you start on that first season.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get that. Game of
Yeah.
Thrones was dense.
Yes.
Love it.
Exactly.
And The Wire was
so
dense. Dense as hell.
The Wire might be the
Dallas was
densest.
Yes. The Wire,
The Wire
you
was
can't, you can't not pay attention for 1 second. You got to
Yeah.
be wired.
But it was.
You're
But
like,
here's the thing. Here's the
follow
thing
the
that's
money?
great about The Wire. Yeah.
Yes.
No, what was great about The Wire though is like they were discrete seasons. They built on each other,
Mhm.
but I feel
Yeah.
like you could watch a season as its own thing because they were always like sort of like a case that kept on building, but you could punch in if you wanted to.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so that was what I really thought was The Wire was just genius. I mean, it was just
Oh.
a genius show, and it was so special. I mean, I can rewatch that anytime.
Yeah, you can keep.
Anytime.
It has a lot of
That's one of those
rewatchability.
shows.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
it's so Raven.
It is so Raven.
Very Raven. Now Heidi,
Yes.
Heidi, that was Madison's.
Dude.
That's
Yep.
so Raven. This week, you've had a month to accumulate things that could be considered That's So Raven.
Mm-hmm.
What's That's So Raven for you after a month of accumulation of cool stuff?
Oh my gosh. Well, I will tell you, I'm taking it back a little bit because, and I'm taking it KC with this one.
Ooh.
I had been DMing with someone on Instagram who actually listens to our show, Justin, a big fan of our Where We Were When podcast.
Okay.
His name is Jeremy Scott. He's probably listening to this. He's the designer for the fashion label Moschino, and he's also from Kansas City.
What?
Yes. And
that's amazing.
So he listens to the pod and then he'll DM me and be like, "Oh my God, Bannister Mall." And then we'll go in on Bannister Mall.
I love it.
Or
I love it.
And we've had like the best conversations just about Kansas City and growing up there. Anyhow, in New York last week, it was Fashion Week. He was showing his new collection. I got to go to the show. I got to wear his label. It was incredible. All of that was amazing. And I got to meet him in person. But that night, he had an after party, and his mom and sister and his nephew came from Kansas City, and they brought me, Justin, you will definitely recognize this,
Choco Popo. Oh, look at that. That is such a oh my gosh, that is such a part of our youth. And it's
gosh.
And
we put
we
that
worked
shit
there.
into we put Choco Popo into canisters and
Not
sold
just
it.
canisters. I had to tell Jeremy, remember when we would make it at the holidays, we would stuff trash bags full of
That's
Choco
true.
Popo in the basements. Like, because there
Clean
was
trash
so much.
bags, clean trash bags.
Yes,
Yeah,
clean
right.
trash bags. But
They would
washed-
make it and then
we
it went
washed
right into
them.
trash bags.
We washed
Yeah.
And then they would bring the trash bags over to the people who were like stuffing it in, and the people would grab in the trash bags. Definitely a pre-COVID reality.
Exactly.
And they would break up the thing and then put it into these canisters
Oh
by
my
hand.
gosh.
By hand.
But you were a holiday hire. Mom was a holiday hire. And then I went on to work there, like in the store for a little
In
bit.
Panache.
Yeah, in
Panache.
Panache Chocolates, which now there's still one in Leawood. There's not one on the plaza anymore. But
No.
Jeremy's family flew all the way from Kansas City to bring me Choco Popo last week. And I ate so much during the Chiefs game yesterday. It was
Oh
like
my
the best.
gosh. It's crazy because you're holding that up right now. Like
Amazing.
as I saw that and you held it up to the camera, like I was just
It's like a child.
like I really just kind of had a thing in me where I was like, oh yeah, let me try one. And I was like, oh yeah, she's like, this is like a computer.
No, I can't. I can't do that.
But I really
no,
had
but you
that
want
moment.
it because it's so good. The Panache Panache Chocolatiers.
Mm.
And this is how you had to do it. So you see that the chocolate is pointed out. You had to make sure that were breaking the pieces and you're putting it in, and you would put in like sort of like the first thing, and then you'd put like the middle part in, but you had to build it up.
Oh,
So that
really?
the chocolate was facing out.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
work.
Look,
Wow.
that's what's going on. Hey, listen, they're not fucking around. at
No.
Panache
No, they
Chocolatiers.
know.
They
It's
know
all-
what's going on, especially if they're gonna charge like $60 or some chocolate popcorn.
Is that what they
need
do?
to make sure it looks good.
That's a $60.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
That's a video game.
Well, that's a big boy.
Yeah, that's a big
that's
one.
a big
yeah.
That's a big
yeah, and it's really good chocolate. That's really good chocolate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Super quality.
So this
chocolate.
is my That's So Raven. It was so nostalgic for me. It was so sweet to receive it, and it was such a great memory too because we used to pack this stuff. So.
That is too cool.
And
that brand is amazing.
What's your
brand is amazing.
What's your grandparents' name again? What are they called? They're
Mammo and Bampo.
Mammo and Bampo could take us to Choco and Popo. That's all I can think of is
Oh yeah.
Mammo. I was like, there's another something.
They did. I'm sure they did. I'm sure they took us down there at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mammo and Bampo took us to the place where we made Choco Popo.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Let's get the Choco Popo. Mammo
That's
Bampo.
right.
I love it.
Real quickly,
Heidi.
Say the brand's name again. Moschino?
Moschino.
Moschino.
Yeah.
Okay. I always loved their advertisements back in the day. They always seemed so bright and vibrant. Like it was like the woman drinking out of like it was for their perfume. The woman drinking out of like the perfume bottle. Right?
Oh.
Remember that?
I gotta look
Remember
that up.
it was iconic. It was iconic. And I don't know if is it did Jeremy create it or is he like the lead designer now?
He's the lead designer now since 2013, I think.
Gotcha. So look that up because that was just one of those like iconic images for me back in the day that I thought was just fashion, right?
Yeah.
It just said fashion to me. So,
Yeah.
and by the way, I saw all the Instagrams. You looked beautiful. And
Thanks,
I was
Justin.
so happy because I know you love fashion so much. And I don't know if you've walked in a show before. Have you?
Just this year I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like you're in Fashion Week. Like that's amazing.
Yeah, it was very cool. It was a really
That's
special
amazing.
week. And to start it off, Moschino was the first show I went to, and to start it off with someone from Kansas City, I mean, it's
So great.
very cool. And then to share this with two Kansas City people on the show, even though you can't eat it, but that's so Raven.
I got my Starburst. It's okay.
Well,
Mr.
also, I
Starburst.
just want to say, Justin, before I ask you your That's So Raven, I just took all 4 flavors of Starburst and I smashed them together like a patty.
Is that what
And
that
then I
is?
rolled them up like a jelly roll. And then after
It's a
the
hot
show,
dog.
I'm gonna slice them so that I have like little
Wow.
discs of every flavor, and I'll report back because everyone will care.
Wait a second. Were you one of
Yeah.
those kids?
Let's hope she doesn't die.
Were you one of those kids growing up who used to do things with like food and just like take the ball of bread or roll it up or you know what I mean? Remember how kids did stuff with food like that?
Yeah.
We would go to
I went through a phase where I burnt food. I remember getting in trouble at Mammo and Bampo's with my friend Ashley, who I've talked about on this show, where we were like burning Cheetos, or we'd put a lot of shit in the blender. Remember like that old blender Mammo and Bampo had, Justin? We'd like put ketchup.
Yeah.
Relish
That was
and-
why that went away.
Yeah.
That's right. No, but like you ever make a suicide? Like go to Quick Trip
Oh
and make a
yeah.
suicide?
I remember that.
I feel like she just made the Starburst suicide.
That's
Yeah,
what that is.
I
Yeah.
did.
It'll make you want to commit
That's
it
what
after
that is.
Can't
you
wait
eat
to
that.
let you guys know.
I really think
Yeah.
you should. I really think you should throw that in a garbage bin. I don't think you should. Or you can put it in the Choco
Well-
Popo, and whoever finds it, it's like a Cracker Jack toy.
Oh man,
Yes.
that's a
I mean, this should be like your crack because you're saying that it basically they're all the same flavor. So I feel like you would love this hot dog
That's right.
Starburst I made.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a hot dog. It looks like a weird like a little corn dog situation or whatever.
A little smoky.
Yeah.
so strange.
It's a
It's a little
smoky.
smoky.
Yeah.
But when I cut them up, they're going to look pretty.
Okay, good. Make
Sure.
a necklace out of it.
Sure. You tell yourself that.
Make a candy
All
necklace.
right, I want the attention off of me now. Justin, what's your So Raven?
This is gonna be so Kansas City.
Yes.
But
Great.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, I knew you were going to say it. Woo! Yes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
And the cheetah.
Yes.
I mean, this is not going to air probably until early October. But the home opener, Mr. September, Patrick Mahomes has not lost a single game in September.
Mm-hmm.
He has no interceptions. He threw for 3 touchdowns. And he just scored a touchdown he scored 2 touchdowns in 3 minutes again.
And one was 75-yarder to the cheetah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, we went decades with a lovely team, but we just weren't a very winning team. And then we got Andy Reid and we started winning, but we could never punch it through. God damn it. It feels good to never be out of a game. Never out of a game.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes.
He's incredible.
Coming on strong. That he just has the confidence. And it's one of those things that when they were going to draft him, I remember he was sitting with John Gruden and they were talking through his games. And 2 things about him that I thought were this guy is going to be good. The first one was his dad was a professional baseball player. So he had been around professional baseball and professional sports his entire life. So he wasn't going to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, right? It wasn't going to be this doe-eyed guy coming in. He had grown up taking batting practice with Alex Rodriguez, right? Number 1. Number 2, his college team and his high school teams never had defenses. So he always had to come from behind. He always, his entire athletic life, when he was playing football, he had to come from behind because his defenses could never hold the lead. Wow. So he always had to come back. That's his mode. So not only has he just been he's just been marinated in professional sports. He's also been marinated in, I will never, no lead will ever be safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. That is why you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes. A guy like Patrick Mahomes does not happen by accident. It happens by life and your life experience. And that's why Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. And anybody who's who the fuck is Patrick Mahomes? He's an amazing football player for the Kansas City Chiefs. And he just makes watching, if you don't like football, I get it. I don't really get it, but I get it. Whatever. But watch a Kansas City Chiefs game and tell me you're not entertained, because he makes every game just infinitely watchable. And we finally have a fucking quarterback,
Yeah.
We've got, I love you, Alex Smith. You're an amazing quarterback, but Patrick Mahomes is legendary. So my That's So Raven is Patrick Mahomes.
That was poetic.
Amazing. Yes.
That's my So Raven.
That deserves a clap right there.
That
was nice.
Yes.
I love that.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
I got it out. I was excited about that. I was just so excited about that. But we actually do have one more thing in the cast. It's been a little while. Heidi and I have had a few meetings now on
For sure.
what we're going to do in the last segment. And I wouldn't say that we've come to an understanding so much as there has been a certain opinion that has won out. And it's I mean, with Madison, you watch the show. So generally this is where I pitch a sketch, or I give Heidi some great ideas. And instead, what we're going to do we're going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to do a giveaway, because we'd like to really increase. Yeah, we'd like to really increase our YouTube subscribers. And this is going to have to do with, I know if you listen to the podcast, we love you. Keep listening. We would love for you to watch the podcast, because our team and us put a lot of effort into making sure that it looks amazing. And there's a lot of fun little things that I'm sure you heard some sound effects here and there. You're like, what is that? Well, you got to watch it.
Yeah.
You got to watch
Yeah.
it. So what we're going to do is we're going to be giving away something that's really special.
Yes.
And
Very.
yeah, very special. And we this week we've got this amazing wax warmer. And it's got a special message for somebody on the show. Good things take time. They take time. And
Okay.
one day, maybe we can get back to where we were when before the break.
Wow. This is a
But
hard,
right now,
sentimental sell to
right?
me.
Well, the sensationals. It's a sensational segment. But good things
Sentimental.
take time, and we're gonna try this for a little while, try to get that subscriber base up.
Mhm.
But yeah, this wax warmer is what we've got this week. So if you
Well,
would
there's
love
a
to,
wax warmer with a personal message geared towards me, I can tell, but
well,
that
it's
you
a
can win
message. I mean, I
a
didn't make
message.
this. This was from
You're right.
Simply Sensational. So it
I would
was.
almost believe if you did make it. But there's another item, correct, that might be more
Well, it would
even
be right.
wanted if you listen to the
Well,
show. You might
why
want.
would you not want a wax warmer? I mean, the wax warmer is this. It's got, you remove the dish, you install a bulb, you put a little wax in here. We've talked about wax. I mean, we had a waxy candy on. So,
Okay,
but you know
you
what?
got lucky with
We do.
that. Yeah.
You're right.
It's like a premonition, or some sort of premonition or foreshadowing.
Did I?
What was to
Yeah,
come?
really.
So
I certainly hope not.
we do have another. We have a fan, Lauren, and she is amazing. I don't know if you've seen her art. On
Very talented.
she's done pictures of Angel. I believe she's done pictures of Bailey Gizmert. She did the lesbian period drama. She's on Twitter. She's on Instagram. And I'm gonna read before I get to like show you, I'm gonna read a note. Heidi and Justin, thanks for keeping this fellow movie nerd entertained and for making my nostalgic dreams come true with this perfect podcast. Love, Lauren. P.S. I'm so honored that my stickers will be used in a giveaway. Thank you. I had so much fun making this fan art
Oh my
for the two of
gosh.
you.
Lauren, you're the best.
We've got our first official fan art from
Amazing.
the show. This is Prince. I'll kind of back up.
Whoa.
Okay. So we're gonna sign these. We've got two. We're gonna sign these. Okay.
Yeah.
So we can give away two of those, and they will come with some stickers of us too. Got some stickers right there.
Cute.
Got some shiny stickers.
Wow, that is awesome.
Lauren, thank you.
Yeah.
And thanks for making them shiny too. That's
Hand
really
cut.
cool.
Lauren hand cut these. So I forget the ats and the Instagram and Twitter. So Lauren, I'm sorry. But
well, we're gonna put it up.
It'll be up on the
Yeah.
screen. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
up on the screen. But I'm not saying it right now. So I just want to acknowledge the fact that I forgot it. Because this is a very honest podcast. And we just
get real.
so here's the deal. In order to win that and that banger of a wax warmer, which we are giving away, here's what you got to do. You just have to subscribe and comment on this episode's. Just leave a comment. Just tell us why you love it.
Easy.
And then also obviously, like, if you can just make sure that like you can give us something to contact you by, because obviously like we want to make sure that we can't contact you, I think, via YouTube, so we have to contact you other way. So we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, obviously we can do DMs there. So just leave your Instagram, leave your Twitter, but yeah, come over to YouTube, subscribe, and leave a comment and tell us what you love about the show. And we
Amazing.
will pick 2 winners. So that's the giveaway. That's the new segment. I am
I love
excited
it.
about it. I'm excited about it.
What's a wax warmer do again? So is it a wax warmer?
It basically so you put a starburst in the top of it and it heats
Wow.
up and then the starburst melts and then you smell
candy psychology.
Yeah, and then you smell the psychology. It just it's a different way to make a room smell delightful. That's what
Okay.
it is.
I'll be
incredible.
Oh, maybe I'll get that one.
Yes.
Madison, if you want to enter, there's no legal. We're not doing any legalese here. Like, if you want to enter, by all means. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, by the way, shame on you.
Dear God, Heidi, put that. Dear God, Heidi, put that thing down.
No.
Are you actually going to eat this? You're going. You're what? You're gonna. You're.
Hey, they're
You're doing
my
it with your hands.
hands, my mouth.
Take one. Can you take just one bite?
I know
on the
you, but you've
pod?
been handling
Maybe just one
cats
Yes,
bite.
I will. I wanted it to be pretty, but I am.
Oh wow, she did it.
Oh my God, you guys.
Verdict?
Oh, that's not good.
There's no way it's good.
Absolutely incredible.
Tastes like wax.
You guys, it is.
It's a wax warmer.
It is incredible. It's like
a fruit salad.
mega stuffed Oreo. It's like more of the cream. It's so good.
It's a fruit salad. It's a fruit salad. Well, hey, tell you what.
You're romanticizing
Tell you what.
it.
Listen, Madison, Skittles challenge. Okay, you're gonna come back, right? We'll have you back.
Please do. Oh, I'd love to.
Skittles challenge, right? So like we got to do it.
What is Skittle Jam? Is that a music fest? Sounds like a music
Skittle
festival. Yeah,
it does.
Elliot and the designers playing at Skittle Jam. I would love to see that.
That's right. Let's bring him in. Let's bring him to Porch Fest. Get in touch. I mean, you're a musician. And actually like promo. Like what's like you've got any shows coming up? What's going on?
We have a show
You've got
coming
the movie.
up here. There's one here locally, actually, at the end of this month. I guess September 24th at Leavenworth.
Yeah, this won't be out by then.
Oh boy. Uh-oh.
But that's okay. That's okay. You can. Sorry, it's not. We're not that fast.
We can still put it.
We can promote it. We'll promote it.
Still promote it.
There's one that people can around here come out to in December as well, but it is unannounced right now, and it's not just me. It'll be some
December.
other bands. So that's good. Look at December and kind of just keep your eyes on our social media.
And where can we follow you? Go
on Instagram. Go under Madisen Ward MB. M as in Mama, B as in Bear, and there, Twitter, Facebook, or send a message, and I'll probably respond. I try to respond to everyone. Or I
Phenomenal.
might do
That's how we got in touch. That's how we got in touch.
Yeah, exactly. Most definitely. And I saw your guys' pod, and I saw you guys were talking films, and I'm such a huge film fanatic and movie buff, and I was so happy you guys started the podcast together. So I think it's really cool what you guys are doing, and I'm so happy I got to be on.
Oh,
yes, we love to have you.
Being on. You were a delight, and I swear to God, your description of Rush Hour is life-changing for me. Made me so happy.
That's awesome.
And that's what awesome. I love about doing this podcast is like, honestly, like when you had told me before, like in an email, I'm going to do Rush Hour. And in my head, I was like, oh, I don't have that many memories. And then it's like, you start talking about it and I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. I mean, so I could go on. We already did. But that's why I love this podcast. It takes you back to a very visceral feeling. And the way that you described that movie theater watching Rush Hour was like, yep, that was a big deal. That was a big moment. And that felt really good. That was joy.
That's awesome. I'm so glad. Yeah. I know that feeling. I know what you're talking about. And yeah, it's an incredible feeling. It's something that you had to be there. A lot of people now and beyond might not quite be able to experience what some of us did during those sort of 90s era films. But it's so visceral. You're right. It's hard. You can't forget it. Also, I was going to say real quick. Nope, totally forgot it. Never mind. I had a thought. I swear. I swear, and I lost it. I like to end strong.
Bring it back for the Skittle Jam.
Yeah, bring it back.
Or we'll just bring you back another time for just the thing that you forgot. And
There you
that
go.
would be an
It's a
amazing
2-minute
segment.
episode. It's a 2-minute episode.
Yeah. Okay,
This
guys.
is the episode of Madison. That's right.
I was gonna say, y'all like sour Skittles? No? All right, later. Bye. That's gonna be the whole. There you go.
Madison, thank you so much. Justin,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Kansas City
Thank
love
you.
all around. This was
Kansas
amazing.
City.
Most definitely.
We love you, Kansas City. We love you, everyone who's listening. Yeah, this was a great episode. Thanks.
We
for
love you,
tuning in.
KCK. We love you, KC Mo. We love
Yes.
the KC Metro. It's all love.
It's all
Yes.
love.
Madison, thank you so much. We'll
Thank
see you soon.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Bye. We're all gonna go get into some Midwestern trouble.
Midwestern
Bye now.
trouble.
Love that theme song.
She is also a comedian herself, a writer, performer. She performs in a sketch group called Wilburn, and she also directs a sketch group at the Laugh Index Theater. She's the editor of our show. She does graphics, produces the show. She gives us notes, just notes us to death. Please welcome the newest Mamos kid, Catherine Coleman. Hey, Mamos!